So we're joined now by Richard Sheehan, the Chief Executive of Shropshire Chamber of Commerce, for a little while yet.
Indeed,
Richard,
for a little while yet, until the 31st of March.
But one of the projects that you've been working on in great depth over the last few months is this Local Skills Improvement Plan project, isn't it? Which the Chamber's leading for the whole of the Marches area.
We're leading right across the Marches, yeah.
What is it? Just explain about what you're trying to do with it.
The Department of Education decided quite some time ago that they probably wanted to give business a better voice in terms of how they shape curriculum. We've got some incredible providers who have been delivering, in some cases, training that the government has specified they need to deliver. Sometimes there's been a degree of poetic license, but it needs to be married to the business need, particularly now in a time when businesses are short of staff, when they don't have the sort of resource behind them. It's so important that what they have got can be trained in the needs that they have. And so we're doing this research work now. We're engaging with the business community right across the Marches with partners. Hereford and Worcester Chamber of Commerce have partnered with us, and many stakeholders are involved in this, working together collaboratively, which is the most effective way to ensure that the business voice is heard.
And how easy is it to get businesses to interact with you over this then?
It's gathering momentum. It is gathering momentum. We started it just before Christmas, never the best time unless you happen to have a red suit and a beard. And so consequently, we are seeing the momentum starting to gather. But the bigger the sample, the more representatives that we can get involved with, then the more we're going to have to provide that intelligence into the Department of Education, who will ultimately come back then to the providers to say, this is what your business community are asking you to deliver. Can you deliver it, and we will fund it. So,
and presumably just to find out where the highest priority gaps maybe are in the provision that exists at the moment then, is it?
That's right, yeah. It's analysing not only the data that's already there, and there's a whole raft of different data already produced in lots of different formats, of course, which has to be put into some...
That's a challenge in itself, isn't it?
That is indeed a very time-consuming challenge to try and analyse all that and get it into one format. But I think there's a lot there already. The providers have been doing a lot of research of their own over time and to help shape some of the funding bids that they've put in and the delivery model. So there's a whole lot of things there. There will be gaps in provision. It would be absolutely fantastic if there wasn't, actually, because that would say that everything is as we want it. But the likelihood is we will find gaps in provision. There's no question about it, and that businesses will be looking towards the future. You know, the net zero agenda, the carbon sort of reduction agenda has a part to play in many businesses, not only in terms of how they can reduce their carbon footprint, but how they might capitalise on the opportunities that new growth market will provide. And so simple things like that will come out of it. But I think there is a challenge there as well. With over 90% of the Shropshire business community 10 employees and less, there's going to be an awful lot of people in business who are nose to the grindstone every day, who actually don't really know what the skills needs are in 12, 18 months for their sector or industry, because they're just too wrapped up with what's happening today. They're probably short of people in some cases. They're probably looking to develop what they've already got, because the recruitment challenges, as we know, are immense. And so there's a piece of work there to do as well to facilitate that awareness that people need to understand the future direction of their business, and we'll play that part.
Are you looking at specific sectors for this then, or is it size of business, sector of business?
We've started off looking at specific sectors across the Marches, but the Marches is not massively blessed with the volume of businesses, of course. There's an awful lot of fields and between market towns and things. So we were quite creative in the way that we actually built those sectors. So we've looked at engineering, manufacturing and food and drink production, because there's a blend there. We've looked at construction and environmental technologies, because clearly environmental technology into construction has an enormous part to play, but that will also have a part to play in other sectors. Professional services plays a key part in our economy, and it's very important that it's at the forefront of being able to retain that work in Shropshire and Herefordshire, rather than see it going off to Birmingham and cities, because people think it must be better because it's there, and the reality is it probably isn't already. So we need to make sure that we support them, and of course health and social care is a massive, massive industry within the Marches area. And so we focused on those. Now, that's much to the disappointment of some other sectors, and we get it and we understand it, but we've had to make sure that what we deliver is quality.
You're still covering a fair chunk of the economy there, though, over those categories,
oh,
aren't
goodness
you?
me,
So-
yes, we are, absolutely. And I think they are really, really important economic generators. And so, yeah, I think the focus is right. We certainly would like to expand that beyond that. And phase 2 of the local skills improvement plan is all about continuing engaging with those existing businesses to see changes in trend and to analyse differences and make sure that's fed back in. But it will also give license to expand the sector representation. So some of our more sort of important ones that are probably deemed to be emerging, the digital marketplace is massive, of course.
So how do businesses engage with this then, and what is there a time scale on it?
Yeah, well, there is a time scale. We have to put the report in by the end of May. We want to be in a really decent position by the end of March. So my team, and we have got a team of researchers led by Rosie Bezic, who's an internationally known market researcher. And the access to that is through the Chamber website in the first instance, or through any of the Chamber team, if businesses want to play their part and to avoid that situation where I can't get this person trained, I need this, I need that, and it's not available. Let's avoid that. Let's have a voice. Let's use our voice to shape the future, to work together with our providers who do an amazing job already to improve the landscape further if we can. And so they can come through our website, any of the Chamber team, and we will sort the interview situation. We'll have a discussion, understand what their sector is, and it can either be a one-to-one interview, face-to-face, virtually. It can be a survey. We'll work with whatever business.
I've done one of these. I've filled in mine. I've been interacting online and through text messaging as well.
Yeah,
various surveys as well.
absolutely.
It's very
Yeah.
slick.
Plenty
Very
of
good.
ways then to
So it
get
doesn't
that.
take too long. You know,
Yeah.
it's very time effective.
No,
isn't
no,
it?
it's not a long process. I mean, the face-to-face one is the longest one. It is the preferred one for us because it allows you to dig below the surface to understand. Yeah, okay, so your shortage digital skills. A, what do you mean
Tell
by
us more,
that?
yeah.
And if you had it, what level would it need to be? So there's more understanding there and that's quite difficult through online
Because they might
surveys.
just be answering one question, but they might say something. You might think, oh, well, hang on a minute, we
Yeah.
could go deeper here, as you say, and get more information and pull more out of that.
We've shaped the surveys that if it gives people an opportunity to perhaps invite further conversation if they've got more to say. And obviously whatever comes out is treated confidentially. There's some great intelligence coming out, and some of it won't be a surprise because I
Has
think...
some surprised you, though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
There'd be no point doing this project if it didn't, really, would there?
No,
So
as I
it's,
said earlier on, it would be fantastic if everything was in place and we were cooking with gas. Wonderful. But obviously that clearly isn't going to be the case. But we may not be far from that. Only time will tell.
So the Chamber website is the first port of call where
Yep.
all the information that people will need, they'll
Yep.
find it, shropshire-chamber.co.uk.
That's correct, and there's a tab which will take you through to the LSIP project. It will give you the contact details of the researchers, the management of it. But if for any reason somebody can't access it that way, the Chamber team are across the county, and Hereford and Worcester Chamber people are in Herefordshire as well regularly. Just pick us up, talk to us. We'll do the rest.
Have a
Brilliant.
conversation.
Good to see you, as
you,
ever.
Richard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me along.